We found some of the craziest weapons in Elden Ring, like an actual finger you can use as a weapon, a dagger with an amazing special attack, and a really powerful weapon art that lets you roll around as a ball of lightning. The best part is, some of these items don't even require you to fight a boss, and you will find all of them in the Altus Plateau, a region of the map that you can unlock very early in the game if you know where to look. So we'll tell you exactly how to get there, as well as show you some of the amazing items you can find in this region. There will be timestamps in the video so you can skip ahead to a specific item, or if you want to know how to get into this region. We'll explain how to reach the Altus Plateau near the end of the video, but first let's look at some of the amazing items you can find there. Because one reason I really recommend going to this region as soon as you get the chance is an amazing Ash of War, the lightning ram. It's super easy to find, no dungeons or bosses required to grab it, and I think especially after the Hoarfrost Storm got nerfed in the previous update, a lot of people are looking for a new strong weapon art to pair with their favorite weapon. And my suggestion for this would be to try this lightning ram. It can be applied to any melee weapon, so really versatile, and it changes your weapon art to a roll forward while also coating you in lightning. Plus you also bleed like a goat before rolling, so that definitely adds some extra points for style. And at first I just wanted to use this skill because it looks really funny, but the more I used it, the more I realized that it's actually pretty powerful. You can keep rolling as long as you have FP and stamina by repeatedly pressing the weapon art button, so LT or L2, and enemies just don't know how to deal with you when you transform yourself into a bowling ball of lightning and death. I'm not kidding, it even works against bosses. The only real downside here is that the wind-up takes a bit of time, but as soon as you get the ball rolling, you're pretty much unstoppable. And of course, this lightning ram weapon art will also allow you to change part of your weapon's damage to lightning. To get it, you simply want to head over here on the map to the forest-spanning Great Bridge. It's easy enough to find from where you enter the region, just follow this road, then use the teleporter on the bridge to make your way over to the other side over here. And then it's just as simple as following this road all the way around over here. You'll start to see lightning strike as soon as you're reaching your destination. There's also a lot of rams around, I guess a sign of things to come, but all you have to do now is to find this teardrop scarab over here, kill him, and the lightning ram Ash of War is yours. Before we move on to another weapon with an amazing unique weapon art, if you liked the video so far, it would be awesome if you could leave a like, and remember to subscribe as well if you don't want to miss our next Elden Ring video. So yeah, another funny but surprisingly powerful item that can be found in the Altus Plateau is the ringed finger. The name really says it all here, as this weapon has you use a giant severed finger as a club. No surprise then that this weapon mostly scales with strength, although the requirement isn't very high, so regardless of your build, you will probably be able to use it. And if you do, you'll definitely want to try out the weapon art on this weapon, as this claw flick attack makes the finger grow to a monstrous size to then deliver the world's deadliest poke to your enemies. Most human-sized enemies will be knocked back and on the ground by this flick, creating a huge opening for you to deliver a follow-up attack. So yeah, if you're looking for a more unique blunt weapon than your standard mace or club, this one definitely checks that box. And you can find it over here in the Gelmir Hero's Grave dungeon. To reach it, simply start from the forest-spanning Great Bridge again, but this time we take the path west towards the mountains. If you keep following that road, you will eventually cross a giant rope bridge, after which you can find another grace point. We need to move on further though, and there are a lot of enemies up ahead, but they're busy fighting each other, so we can just ignore them and make our way over to this ladder. Then climb up, there's another grace point you can activate here, and simply move past the rest of the enemies here as well, jump over some rock formations, and then we reach the dungeon entrance. Once inside, you will enter a long slope down with a lot of lava to the sides and one of those death chariot traps all the way at the bottom. In case you're not familiar, this one will continuously roll up and down the slope, crushing anyone in its path, so you want to make your way from corner to corner on your way down, as we need to head all the way down the slope to get the item we want. There are also some skeletons here, they're not too hard to deal with though, plus you can use the trap or the lava to kill them too. For the final part though, we're going to need to run into the lava and make our way through it. It's nice to have as much health as possible for this, so bring as many crimson flasks as you can, just to heal through the damage you receive and make your way to the bottom, then turn left. The lava will also slow you down immensely, so rolling is probably faster than walking, that's what I did at least, and after you make the turn left, you can see solid ground and a room with a chest in it. Make your way over, open the chest, and the ringed finger is yours. And by the way, there's another weapon with a really strong weapon art that we actually passed on our way to get this ringed finger, the bloody Helice. This large rapier-like weapon ticks a lot of boxes. It has bleed buildup, which is great on any weapon. Great range, it can also be used while blocking, but most importantly it has an amazing weapon art that's unique to the weapon, Dynast's Finesse. It's a very similar skill to the one you find on the Bloodhound's Fang, where the weapon art lets you create distance between you and your enemy, and then following up with a heavy attack lets you re-engage with a powerful combo. If you haven't heard of the Bloodhound's Fang, by the way, we made a video on it and some other powerful weapons you can get very early, so give that one a watch if you haven't already. Anyway, this Dynast's Finesse is amazing, as you can choose to follow up your dodge with a single thrust by pressing the heavy attack button, so R2 or RT, or a 3-hit combo if you press the heavy attack button twice. Now, the bloody Helice does require some investment in the arcane stat to be properly wielded, so keep that in mind, but if it suits your playstyle, this weapon can definitely carry you throughout the entire game. You do need to fight a boss in order to get it though, but luckily for us, it's very easy to reach his fight. Like I said, we already passed the location on our way to the previous item, so if you've been following along so far, you can use the Bridge of Iniquity Grace Point, but if you haven't, use the teleporter at the forest spanning Great Bridge again, then follow the road and make your way over here to the Right Blood Ruins. In the main structure of these ruins is a staircase down into the boss room, so just skip past the enemies here and go down to find the Sanguine Noble. Now, I fought him with upgraded gear and at a pretty high level, so he didn't really pose that much of a threat, but if you come here earlier in the game, there's two things you need to watch out for. First of all, this guy has some pretty long combo strings, so only attack if you're sure he's done with his combo. And second, he has this attack where he drops pools of blood on the ground. Those build up bleed on you, so don't stand in them or you'll take massive damage when the status meter fills up. When you manage to defeat the noble, you can pick up the Helice from the chest in the next room. Now, if you want, there's another boss you can challenge in this region for a cool weapon, the Black Knife. This dagger scales with both dexterity and fate and also deals holy damage next to its physical damage, so a great fit for faith builds. I recommend dual wielding it with another dagger you like, as the dual wield combo with two daggers is really quick and therefore really powerful. You can perform these dual wield combos with L1 or LB when you have two weapons of the same type equipped, in case you didn't know. The Black Knife also comes with a really interesting weapon art, Blade of Death. Using this ability lets your character jump up and then shoot a projectile at an enemy, which deals damage, reduces the target's max HP, and continues to do damage over time for a short while. I imagine the max HP reduction is making PvP fans very happy, but the damage and damage over time make this ability great for some chip damage against bosses too. To get our hands on this dagger, we need to loot it from the Black Knife assassin who's guarding the sainted hero's grave over here on the map. Now again, if you've been following the video so far, you'll see that this is very close to where we got the lightning ramp, but if you didn't, we take the teleporter next to the forest spanning Great Bridge, then follow the road all the way back around to here where the assassin will be waiting for us. Keep in mind that you can use a spirit summon in this fight to make it easier. The Black Knife assassin is pretty agile, though like the Sanguine Noble, my gear was a bit over leveled, so he went down pretty quick. He does have a very dangerous grab attack in his arsenal that almost one-shot me, so you really want to be careful when you see him going for that attack. Once you defeat him, however, he drops his Black Knife, which is now yours to use. So, now that you know what items you can find in the Altus Plateau, you also want to know which items you need to get there. And well, that's relatively straightforward actually. We need 2 halves of a medallion in order to activate a giant lift in the Liurna region. One of the halves is over here in Fort Hyde, located in Limgrave, so pretty close to the start of the game. And the other one can be found in Fort Ferret, in the upper part of the Caelid region. You can reach both of these without any items or story progression required. You can even skip the enemies in both locations to just grab the medallions from their chests, and then you can use these medallions to activate the Grand Lift of Dectus, located over here on the map, which will carry you up to the Altus Plateau. If you're having trouble finding the medallions, Arekkz Gaming has a nice guide on his channel for this. We'll link to that one for if you need a more detailed explanation. That's all for now though. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and remember to subscribe as well if you want to make sure you don't miss the next one. If you want, you can watch our previous video where we give you some tips on how to turn every weapon into an overpowered killing machine. For now, thanks everyone so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!